Welcome to Cloudcast, where you get an inside look at St. Cloud, Florida's local government. Whether you live, work, or play here, we're bringing you the information you need to better understand your city. Cloudcast is hosted by our communications team, including Miriam Batchelder, Andrew Sullivan, Deborah Carson, and Jay B. Miller. Thanks for listening in to Cloudcast.
Welcome to another edition of Cloudcast, City of St. Cloud's official podcast. Joining me today, we have Deborah Carson and Jay B. Miller with our media services staff.
Hey, everybody.
And we also have our star for the day, City Manager Veronica Miller. Welcome.
Thank you. Hi.
So it's a new year. Everybody's making resolutions and kind of reflecting on things that have happened over the past year. 2024 was certainly a momentous year for the City of St. Cloud. We had a lot of achievements. We certainly faced our share of challenges, and it's a good a time as any to kind of reflect on some of the things that we've done. Just to get your thoughts on things, what are some of the things that you would like to reflect on for the past year?
We've done a lot of great things this year. I think staff has been working really hard, been really excited to be able to show the citizens actually projects being completed. So we actually finished several. One that is probably one of my favorites is the Florida Avenue Trail.
That's a beautiful trail.
I like that one too.
It's beautiful. And there was a lot of concerns before we moved forward with it. So I'm really proud to see that it came out. It's beautiful. It's aesthetic. And it's just a nice place for people to go out and enjoy St. Cloud.
And I think it serves as a much needed connector to get people from our beautiful lakefront, the parks that are down there and the amenities there, into our downtown.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And just the idea that you don't have to worry about cars going very fast down that street. You can ride your bicycle, you can take your kids on their little trucks, and just know that it's a safe place to get from one place to another. I love it. It's beautiful.
Another one of our parks accomplishments we kicked off recently was the 17th Street Ball Fields project.
Yeah, that one just recently had its groundbreaking, and that's really exciting. We have heard my entire career with the city, 21 years, I have heard we need more ball fields, and so we asked the city council if they would support us moving forward with debt for the ball fields and for 2 public safety projects, and they gave us the go-ahead, and so it's really exciting that we went ahead and we broke ground, and we're moving quickly on that. It's pretty exciting.
That one, I know it really ties the community together to have the folks with Little League out there. Of course, it's available for other leagues as well if they want it. I know they're renovating a bunch of the facilities and adding new fields, and that's really exciting stuff. One of the other ones that's moving forward also is the Hopkins Park. Can you tell us a little bit about that project as well?
Sure. Well, that's actually also part of the debt that council approved us to do. So we've done a master plan for Hopkins Park. It's located off of 17th Street. And, there was a small building there, a community center, that really has needed some love for a while. So the plan is, according to the master plan, is we're going to be building a new community center there. It's going to be a 2-story building.
Wow.
And it's going to be a place where people can come together and where we can still continue to offer what we're currently doing out there. We do the after-school program for the kids in that area, and so we're going to be able to continue doing that also. So it's going to be a multi-phase project,
Yep.
but we're moving forward with the engineering and the design and the plans right now.
So the phase 1 for that is in design right now, underway, and the ball fields project actually broke ground and it's going right now. I think that's a 2026 completion. Is sort of the expected?
I believe so.
Yeah, so there's lots of different things that are moving forward, and that's always great to hear. One of the other huge projects, and I believe it also was associated with the debt, is that the Progress Lane. That whole facility is a new facility for our fire admin and their logistics. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Our fire administration is currently located at Station 31, and if anybody's ever had a tour of that building, they converted all available space into space for the fire department. Conference rooms are no longer there.
Oh, yeah.
It's that building is maximized as much as possible. So there's no room for the fire department administration to grow where they're at. So when when we were moving forward, looking at opportunities for where we could put a temporary fire station, we actually saw that this property could potentially be available for sale. So we were really excited that we were in the process of getting debt, so we were able to roll that into the debt, and we were able to get the city council's, permission to move forward on the property, and we closed on it. So right now, if anybody's familiar, Progress Lane and Buddinger, just north of Nolte, it used to be a charter school. So the existing building that's there is going to be the fire administration building, and they'll have logistics and some public meeting space and other uses in the main building. And then there's a smaller white building that used to be a preschool, and that building is being renovated by the police department, and they're going to, I believe they're putting their community outreach group in that building. And then there was multiple portables, and so we're going to move our public works administration is here in City Hall. That basically is the civil engineers and engineering assistants, and the public works director has been so disconnected location-wise from his staff because they're over there off of Buddinger Avenue. So we're excited that we're going to be able to move him and his staff basically all within the same vicinity. So because we have our streets and our stormwater and building maintenance right now off of Buddinger, so he'll be close by. So we're going to have that there. We're going to use one of the portables for some storage for Parks and Recreation. As we keep doing all of these amazing events, we have all these great props. We need to store them somewhere. So
we can't keep them in our offices.
No.
Oh, gosh. I saw a really cool werewolf that I was thinking would look really good in the corner of my office, but okay.
Absolutely.
So just a question about the location. Where you're speaking of, is that where we had to unearth the beehive?
Oh, I was going to say something about that, Jay. Yeah.
Okay, well, because, name drop, there's a little companion video to go with that one. So anybody listening, go watch that too.
That's right. The fun thing about that, I shot that video of the bees and the bee helper. He didn't call himself a keeper, but he put on the whole bee protection outfit, and he went underneath that building, and I think he said 30 or 40,000 bees were swarming around him. So he moved the whole location out to an aviary. Yeah. And that was pretty neat because he also said that it was important that the city did that, supported it to happen, and I thought
bees
that
are
was
so important
to
our environment.
But they're gone now out of there, so everything's safe for our staff.
Exactly. But yeah, like you said, name drop. If you want to see that video, go ahead and go on YouTube, on our YouTube channel, and check it out because you can hear the bees buzzing around his head, and it's awesome.
But I think that Progress Lane property was so amazing because so many portions of it are ready to go for other uses. There wasn't a long, really complicated process to get things ready for city use. And I love that we have a team that's so on the lookout and aware of what's available out there.
Yeah.
We're really on the ball with going out to get things that will fit, resident needs or improve services for people. And that's certainly something that our public safety folks have been doing this year. There's been a lot of focus on providing increased level of services. Like I know one of the big projects that was important for our fire department was the opening of Station 34. Do you want to talk a little bit about that and about maybe future plans for more stations?
Sure. So Station 34 is located on Nora Tyson Road, just north of 192. It's basically on the east side of town. We had that property dedicated to the city by a developer back in 2006. Oh, wow. So it's been the plan for a while that that property would eventually become a fire station. And so we originally were going to put the station somewhere else, but the decision was made that if we were going to, pay for some infrastructure improvements for the building, well, let's do it on property that we own. That's why they picked that spot. And so that'll be able to serve us for quite some time. And while the department is able to right now move forward with the design and hopefully the construction of 2 additional stations, they're working on one in the Center Lake area and another one potentially over in the Tahokwa subdivision area.
That's phenomenal. I know the one on Nora Tyson is important because until then, folks were near some of the county fire stations, but if you needed a rescue unit, if you had a medical emergency, sometimes you would be waiting some time before you got a response. Or if you needed, if it was coming from the city, it would be coming from downtown. So this really helps, those folks that may be having a medical incident or a car crash or something at their home. You'll have medical professionals, EMS people at your house much faster now. So that's always appreciated.
And another thing that I noticed since I've been working here, I've been here just over a year, and I noticed that the city, even since I've been here, is showing so much growth, and you need those new fire stations to help with safety. So I think that's amazing, but the growth is just phenomenal.
Well, so if you know me, my background is in planning. So that is one of the things that when I became city manager that, I started working with all the different departments on, is to make sure, like, what do we need to serve the people that are coming to our community? What have you had in the books? Let's look at what we can do to move forward and make them happen now, rather than them just sitting in a book on a shelf. Like, we need to make these things happen. And so, staff has been really excited working on a lot of these projects. And I think, it's not just the citizens that are happy seeing them coming forward. Like, staff is really proud to see the things that they've been working on happen.
Yeah.
And another, going back to public safety, I know it seemed like a small project to open a classroom. But out at Court Avenue, at our public safety complex, having a place where we can make new firefighters, that we can certify new firefighters, not just for the city, which of course we can always use more, but for the whole region. And that's really something that's unique to Osceola County. Can you talk a little bit about kind of the thought that went into making that center a reality?
So the city has had that training facility on Cord Avenue for several years. Previous city manager had the vision to put in that training tower there, and it's really exciting that we're one of two in Central Florida that can do the testing for firefighters.
Wow.
And my understanding is earlier today they were doing the testing.
That's cool.
We have several firefighters that are, I don't know if the right word is sponsored by the city. They've been hired by the city and they're going through standards, and they were out there testing today with their class. So that's pretty exciting. So in addition to us just being able to do the practical work with the tower, now we've moved forward and we've built the classroom space. So we have some offices there, so like our training officer, our training staff can be close. And then there's a conference room as well as 150 spaces for people, 100 seats available for training for them. And we've been able to also use it not just for the fire department, but for other city uses and for other city trainings. So it's definitely something that we've needed, and it's been good.
That's great. And now it's time for another communications department name drop.
There's another video.
We did a video, and we followed the chief around that facility. So if anyone wants to go on our YouTube channel and check out walking through the spaces and seeing the people there and the screens and just how technology has changed from back in the day. They have a lot of technology in that building.
Yeah, if you are looking for a great career, I know kids today, they want gigs. They want to work remote and they want to kind of do their own thing. But honestly, if you're not shy of a hard day's work and you want to feel like you're part of like a real family that really works towards a goal, like the city of St. Cloud has amazing positions right now for police and fire. And of course, you can work right here with us in City Hall, of course. But I think that investment in making our workforce for tomorrow is amazing. And
so one of the things that we did this year too is, we're working hard on training from within, so building our staff so that they can go to the next level. We do have education opportunities for our employees. Like, I don't want to bring in somebody and train you for you to turn around and work in Orlando or somewhere else.
Right.
Like, we want you to get trained and stay here and help make our city better. And so where training has become really important this year.
And that speaks to kind of the city's resiliency, right? So we faced some challenges this year. We're unfortunately one of the many communities that were struck by a cyber incident that honestly would have crippled a lot of agencies of our same size. But do you want to speak a little bit about, how our IT staff responded to that and we were able to really turn it around faster than most.
Absolutely. So, that's a phone call that I think any city manager hopes to never receive.
What time did you get that? Yeah.
I think it was early.
It was early. It woke me up. And so it was, obviously very serious. And I'm so happy that the staff person, unfortunately he doesn't work for the city anymore, but my understanding is the first thing he did when he started seeing signs that something was wrong, he went and unplugged the city from the network. That's good. Which was the smartest thing that could have happened.
Definitely.
We had already been working on improving our cybersecurity. The City Council had given us money in our budget for this year to work on several projects to strengthen the city. So I'm really happy that, several of them had already been underway, because it would have been worse had we not already had those projects that were already going on. And then, when I met with the FBI, I did ask them, how long is this going to take?
Right.
How your typical city to come on board. And, I think he felt sorry for me. And but, I think we were back up in like a third of the time, getting to start operating again. And, in some areas it was a slower roll, but we were up much faster than expected. So that was great.
Hold up a sec. Did you just say you met with the FBI?
I did.
The feds were involved?
I was fangirling.
Wow, I'm sure. Yeah, I bet. Okay.
They came down here and met with us. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. Well, that's good to know.
That morning they were here.
Cybersecurity and cyber hacking, whatever you want to call it, is a pretty intense thing. And the FBI has to get involved, especially as much damage as they tried to do to the city. They didn't accomplish it because, Andrew, the fire, and they all were up fast, super fast.
Well, and I think, and another name drop, of course, we did feature the IT team as a team of the month or team of the quarter. So they did a phenomenal job, but they also had to give a shout out to many other departments, like our finance people. They made sure that city employees got paychecks. And that's, just one of those things that you never really think about having to pick up and just run with. But again, we made it happen.
Yeah. It was a huge undertaking.
Of course.
We were in a war, we called it the war room, and it was everybody would bring their problems, and we were basically ranking the problems and moving forward with our priorities. Right. I will say the city just created and hired a new position, an emergency manager, to be able to help us with these types of things in the future, not just natural disasters, but, that position could have helped us with this. But we did great even without having someone for that position.
Sure. And also in IT, they had a person that came in shortly after that worked with the IT security.
We had so that's, I think that's why we got picked. We posted a cybersecurity position that was vacant. So I personally think that these bad guys saw that we had that position vacant and thought, oh, there's an opportunity here.
Smart.
So be careful what jobs you post to Indeed. Gotcha.
That's my speculation.
Yeah.
It makes sense if you think about it.
But like you said, we did hire for an emergency manager position. Of course, cyber incidents are one of those what-if scenarios that I think people are starting to consider more these days. Of course, our city and most of Florida has a lot more experience dealing with the natural disasters. And, of course, we had 2 hurricanes this year that we contended with. You want to share your thoughts on how the city reacted and responded to those?
So I think at this point, being located where we are, having the recent events that we have had, city staff at this point, they're a well-oiled machine when it comes to natural events like hurricanes. They all knew what the rules were. They all have lessons learned from the previous event. So as soon as, we saw something was headed our way, our public works staff was out there and, they were clearing ditches, and we had all the departments out there, protecting our buildings and securing debris and going to building job sites to make sure that anything, dangerous couldn't fly away. And we handled everything really well. But what was more amazing is when other cities have been waiting for contract debris companies to come in, we decided that the debris was enough for our staff to handle ourselves. So other cities were dealing with the fact that Florida has just had some really big events, and then there's stuff that happened in North Carolina. These debris management companies, they basically got to the point where unless you were a big job or you were paying a lot of money, they were prioritizing where they were going to go first also. So for our staff to look at it and say, you know what, we're St. Cloud, we can do this ourselves.
I love it.
And they finished before I think most people in Central Florida finished, and doing that on our own. Mm-hmm. There's so much misinformation. We got so many emails from people that is like, well, the government is paying you to go pick these up. Eventually, we may be reimbursed, but we went out and just did it ourselves up front first.
Yeah, because I personally got to go to a few of the areas in the state that were, more impacted. I'm so thankful that we didn't get, direct hits with the impacts that they had projected on Milton. That was a very severe storm, and our hearts go out, of course, to those folks on the west coast of Florida. They really took one.
Right.
But when we really needed it, when our citizens really needed it, we stood up and we were able to put forth a lot of good effort. Our staff did to really try to make things right as quickly as possible. I don't think there's any really kind of underscoring that.
And the other side of that would be the communications aspect, where we were able to do a video where you were on air and you told the community what we were going to be doing and how we were going to be doing it, and you made sure that they knew they needed to be safe and do safe things. And that's important, the communication aspect, because if people don't know what the city's doing, then they're going to ask. So we told them in advance. And
so I'm going to segue for you onto communications. So, one of the things our city council has been, pretty adamant in their individual conversations with me is that they want us to work on communications and that it's so important. So they have given us multiple positions in our communications department so that we can start getting the word out there, and I think it's really obvious. You guys have, in addition to podcasts just like this, we have so much video that's now being produced and put out, and the YouTube channel is getting more subscribers than we've ever had. Before all we used to really have on there was mostly just the city council meetings, but now you guys have content that is relevant and people care about it, and it's pretty exciting. And I think I'm getting lots of compliments that we're doing communications right now, and I think that sometimes when people are upset with us, it's because they're getting more information than they used to, where it may be things that have always happened. But they just didn't know about it because we weren't doing as good of a job sharing what we were dealing with.
Yeah, I can tell you, I see that sentiment as well. People will say, well, it's the city's this or the city's that, and it wasn't like this however many years ago. And it's like, well, we're working a little bit harder, I think, to give the right people the right information at the right time. And you might just be seeing a little bit more than you're used to. So I would assert still that it's a safe town to live in, that there's people that work in city government that care for your well-being and want you to be generally happy and provide you with an excellent and high level of service.
And knowledge is power.
Yeah, it really is.
So if you can see a Christmas parade, or you can see a tree lighting, or you can see someone going down into underneath the ground to clear out a problem that's going on.
Confined space.
Yeah, confined space. Thank you, because I was trying to figure out the word and you helped me. They go in a hole. Yes, they were crawling down in a hole, a confined space. And
on a skateboard. No,
on a skateboard.
That's the second job we've talked about this morning that I'm just not up for.
So just being able to see those kind of things and know that how hard the city personnel are working, and they're doing things that no one else would really want to do. So
and they're doing it all for you, the residents. They're doing it all for your local business owner, and it's really what keeps this city moving. So.
And we have fun.
They do.
We have fun. I enjoy going to the parades and seeing everybody smiling. And
that's my favorite event of the year, is the Christmas parade.
So again, we've taken some time to talk about some of our accomplishments, which everybody likes to toot their own horn. We talked about some of the challenges we face, and there's always room for improvement, right? There's always things that we can do bigger and better next year. Veronica, do you have any final thoughts or message for the people of the city of St. Cloud?
We are behind the scenes continuing to do all the things that we know the residents expect and want. We're trying to work on the quality of life. We're trying to implement all the things that we've been asked to do over the years. And, right now it's been great because I feel like we've had more support from the city council and from the residents than we used to have. And I just want to say thank you for trusting us. We're going to continue to keep doing an amazing job, and we've got a lot more work that's coming. We're trying to make the city a great place to not just live and work, just to be. You know, we want to make St. Cloud be an amazing place, and I think we're doing a great job.
I think it is.
I would have to agree with you as well. And with that, I will close this. Thank you, Veronica Miller, City Manager for the City of St. Cloud, for joining us on this most excellent edition of Cloudcast. We enjoyed having you today, and hopefully our residents enjoy it as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it for this edition of Cloudcast. Don't forget to like, follow, rate, and review, and we'll see you next time on Cloudcast.